am a complex dodecahedron. I have many sides.
Stop turning the lights!
Hello, Internet. My name is Alex Davis. I'm here with my friend Mark. This video is a conversation between the two of us. Stick around for a performance by Mark Flowerdew at the end. Don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the like button down below. But yeah, let's get on with the conversation. Do you have any introductory words to say?
No.
He's a man of few words, but he chooses them wisely. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? What is the first memory that you remember of meeting me?
Well, we were in Frosh Week of the same residence at the same time, and I remember seeing you around. I think there were a bunch of new people there, and you were there. But I think my first concrete memory is we were at the Wong Center for some orientation week event. And as we were leaving that event, you were walking in front of me. I think it was you. And I said something like, "Oh, it's Alex, right?" And you didn't turn around. I remember having some encounter like that. And then the guy next to me looked at me and said, "I guess not."
But in all honesty, I don't remember that. See, the first memory that I have, we were in Tower, but we were upstairs in the pool section, like where they had the pool tables, and you were playing, I think you were with Ahmed at that point.
Oh, I played with Gary at some point, but I think that day it was Ahmed.
I do remember going to the Wong Center that week, but it was for a completely different reason. This sort of like memory lapse thing has happened with everyone else that I've spoken to about different meetings, and we all have different memories.
That's funny. I think of my university days as like, these are the memories that I will cherish forever.
Mhm.
I probably don't remember 10% of it.
But I'm going to address something that I think we both need addressing. Why don't you ever remember boardroom meetings?
I'll try to answer that. I thought I gave a pretty thorough answer at our last boardroom meeting. If you just check the minutes, check with the secretary.
Yeah, but we can't check with Kaylee because she's never here.
Oh. And you're blaming me?
What is your favorite song that you've written solo? Because you are an artist, as we all know.
That is pretty impossible to answer. Like, all of my songs I like for different reasons. They're in different categories in my mind. My song Lead the Way, favorite in terms of like the wordplay of the lyrics or the like the rhyme scheme of the lyrics. There's just a lot going on that I could like break down into like systematically explain, here's why this is funny or clever.
For those of you who don't know, Mark is the reason I can play the ukulele. Not half as well as him, but like, you know. The thing that I appreciate most about you, friend, is not only your talent, your commitment to your craft, but also the way that you write, because it's something that would take a normal person years to be able to perfect, whereas you seem to be able to pick up an instrument and just go with it. How do you manage that?
The musically or the lyrically?
All of the above. How do you do what you do when you do what you do?
Like my first musical experience was learning to play by ear. I was lucky that my house was the kind of house that always has a piano around, no matter where we lived. For whatever reason, I was interested in it, figured out how to play tunes by ear and recognize like intervals and a key center in a song. Knowing music by ear means that if I can pick up another instrument and figure out where the notes are, then any song that I know on another instrument, I can play on a new instrument. It's like understanding how scales and intervals work, like being able to hear something and understand musically what's going on.
And does that come naturally to you, or is it something that you feel like you really had to work at?
It was work, it was effort.
Obviously.
But I found it fun at the time. Yeah, I guess it's a skill that I always found interesting, so it was easy to learn.
And is it weird for you to hear people say, "Oh, he's such a genius"? And I'm not sure how much you actually hear this, but I certainly say it a lot. Does it ever get weird hearing that?
I appreciate people like you who whip out the big words like that. I think that's a term people are more likely to use if you're like young and good at something. There's a part of me that when I hear a compliment that I just kind of try to gloss over it a little bit in my mind, or else I'll feel weird about it somehow. If someone gave me $1 million, I'd be like, wow, that's really nice, but I don't know what to do about this.
Yeah, it's just very interesting to be able to see that perspective and think about it, because you really don't know what goes on in someone's head until like you straight up ask them. What is your least favorite Argyle Splitter song?
It's tricky. I like the later ones for sure. I feel like we got our stuff together. Like they all have bits that I like. Maybe square one is the weakest. One section to another doesn't always feel like, okay, now we're getting ready for it to get big or get quiet or something. Like the sections just feel like, here's one thing, and now we're doing the next thing.
Personally, I like Square One. For one thing, it was the first one that you and I actually finished together. For another thing, I like the chorus, especially like the repetitiveness of it, because I do feel that it sort of builds on it. My personal least favorite, to be honest, is the Turtle song, because I feel like the Turtle song, for what it was written really fast, and I don't particularly like the video for it because of the wind that's in it. But as a song itself, I've never been able to memorize the words, and I wrote them.
You know, it accomplishes what it sets out to do. It's a dumb little song. It's a song about
it's a silly song.
That's
yeah,
exactly what it is.
It's not very in depth. It doesn't have layers. It's just about a turtle eating seaweed.
Maybe there's some fan theories that folks can come up with.
Leave it in the comments below if you want to sort of look into what the turtle song really means. I want to know what your favorite Argyle Sweaters song is.
Can I give you categories?
Define the categories.
I'll give you my two answers. It's just a cheating way of giving two answers. Musically, Let Me In is a song that I could listen to and be like, oh, did we come up with that? That sounds like super well thought out and like complex musically.
I would very much like to revisit that song at some point and be able to go back and re-record it, but it is my favorite lyrically.
I think the most fun song, the most fun to like play and watch is Forever Argyle. Well, it's just fun, and it's like got a groove to it. You can get into it. It's kind of funny. I'm really proud of the line, "These lyrics cut like a knife in a marmalade jar. I went golfing with my life. I got 2 under par." Like just the depth and the layers and
in the two of us writing things together, even though you wrote the majority of that one, we do certainly have a lot of crazy, really in-depth lyrics. My personal favorite from that song is it's the whole "one more time" in the final chorus where we're going through it, where it is that build-up that you were talking about earlier, where it is that climb through the song. If we had a studio version of that, I would die.
8 years of fun with Lights Tokyo Bazaar.
We're kind of a band.
Starring Alex and Mark Guile.
Guile. It sounds better when we sing it. Can you tease anything that's coming up in your career for the Argyle Sweaters? We've heard from Kaylee and I. We want to hear from you. Can you tell us anything about your projects, about Argyle Sweaters stuff, anything that's coming up in the next few months?
Well, thanks for asking, Internet. Well, from out of the ashes, the Argyle Sweaters are back and at it again with a fresh new EP, still in the works, but I think it's a lot of fun.
Do we have a title?
It's Songs from the Atlantic Bubble.
An Argyle Sweaters presentation. I'm personally really excited about it. The 5 songs that we've got so far, one of them is finished. There's been a lot behind the scenes going on the internet that is coming. I'm very excited for not only our album, but also yours. So can you talk a little bit about that for a second?
Sure. So I've been working on an album for too many years now. Yeah, so in my gospel singer-songwriter side, I am a complex dodecahedron. I have many sides. Yes, my album, it's called Let's Go. It's kind of on the topic of the journey of following God throughout your life, being a Christian in the long term. And I know that I'm not the first one to talk about journey as a word to describe a Christian faith, but it's just kind of been on my mind a lot in the past couple years. The implications of that in my own experience as a Christian, where my mind always goes to is like, if I could just sort out XYZ, then that will be like, that's good Christian life. I get this idea of like, this is what my life should be like, and I'm just not there yet. I just need to fix that, and then it'll be good. That's never a place I'm gonna reach. And I think of the disciples in the Bible who spend a lot of their time following Jesus and not having a clue what's going on. And that was it right there. That is the experience of following Jesus, is like you never fully figure the whole thing out. Like the point of having faith is that you gotta stick to God, and as soon as you think, okay, now I've figured out my theology, how to act in every circumstance, and the answer to any tricky question, as soon as you think you have that figured out, you don't really need God anymore. So that's vaguely what the songs are about.
Well, I have to say, I'm really looking forward to that. Frankly, like, it's been a long time coming, so I think people are going to be really excited to be able to digest all this.
I can't wait.
Talk to me about that, like what that's going to be like for you now that you've had this time, especially specifically with your first album. Are you more excited for this album than your last one, or like is it about the same?
I think I'm more excited for this one. Like it's been longer to make it. I feel like it's at a different standard of professionalism and being like well put together and accomplishing what I want it to do.
If you feel comfortable, would you like to grace us with a sneak peek of one of your songs?
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Without Turkey Lights is proud to present Mark Amadeus Flowerdew.
Good job when you made my hands. I use them quite a lot. Good job for getting me here and there by giving me the legs I've got. Good job when you made my heart. It's nice the way it throbs. It's not my job to rate your job, but you're doing a really good job. Oh, you're doing a really good job. That's just a taste.
Do you have any idea when your album comes out?
There's gonna be a handful of like singles, maybe once a week, and the full album might be out in September.
Okay, so we're gonna get a whole summer of Mark Flowerdew. Also, I do want to say the songs from the Atlantic Bubble and our Sweaters presentation is probably coming out somewhere in there. So you'll have 2 albums to look forward to from Mark. So, Internet, we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.